Well, hi. All right, and getting everybody admitted in here. Good evening, guys. Hello. Good to see you, Teresa. It's so good to see you on in person. Hi. Are you're off today? Let me see. Let me see what I got here. I feel like there we go. Hi, guys. All right, good to see you guys. All right, so I'm so excited you guys are here. I'm taking a moment to kind of get my bearings and get everything set up. It is our last phase 2 call, which is really hard to believe. We've been at this for 3 weeks so far, and last week Farron really talked about customer support, and tonight I'm going to build on that, and I'm going to talk about the business opportunity, how to start. That is something I know you've been asking about, you've been really wanting to talk about, so we are going to talk about that tonight. So I've got a long agenda of things for us to cover, but I do want to review from last week when we had our call with Farron. We really talked about excellent customer service. That was one of the things that we were driving home. And I am curious, what are the things that you have set up since our call last week for your business? So tell me either in the comments, or you can unmute. What are you doing to create a really good customer experience for your clients? Do you have an email that you've created? Do you have an onboarding sequence that you're sending out? Is it videos that you're sending? Like, what are you guys doing right now to create a good customer experience? All right, Jackie, one-on-one goal setting call before they get started. That's awesome. Have you done any of those yet? Have you kicked those off? No? Okay. All right. Is that part of your marketing too? Like, you actually talk about that when you're advertising and marketing for your groups? Good. Okay. I love that. I love that. What else? What are you guys doing for onboarding? How are you making sure that you have a good customer experience? Tell me about it. Want to know what you learned, biggest takeaways from last week. I'm going to make you participate tonight, so don't think you're going to be quiet. All right. I just have personal conversations. Gina, that's okay, but I really want to challenge you to have an email. Even if you go to Google Docs and you sit down and you type out, like, when a new customer signs up, I will send them this welcome email. All right. And even if it's plug and play, like, I want it to be something that is systematic in its process, because that way, as your business grows, you can handle more people coming in. All right. A check-in with Google Forms. Courtney, are you doing that weekly? Or are you doing that just when a group starts at 30 days? Weekly Sunday check-ins. I made a video. Love that. Perfect. Onboarding document for my upline that I've made sure I'm set with and doing it 100% now. Good. It's working really well. I love that. Okay. I've created an Excel spreadsheet with my clients so I can track my check-ins. That's perfect. I love that too. That's really, really good. 2 times a week for now. Good. I do a call to go over BOD, the tracker BOD groups. I use email. Good. I will send out individual messages. Good. I love that. Definitely sending out. Even one of the things is, even if you don't hear from your customers, like, I can't tell you how many times I've had customers in a challenge group who never posted and never participated, never responded to things, but I would check in like clockwork every week. On the day that I did my check-ins, I would send them a private message. And sometimes they would never respond, and we would get all the way to the first 30 days. And I would say, it's the end of 30 days. You know, I just wanted to check in with you. Do you want to continue on? Do you need to restart? Did something happen along the way? And I can't tell you how many times people have said to me, like, I'm so glad you messaged me every week. I know I didn't do my part, but now I'm ready. And so a lot of times, just us doing that check-in is really valuable. Also, sometimes people literally don't like to post in groups. They may read everything you're doing. They may tell you you're reading everything, but they don't actually post in a group. They'll just message you back and forth, and that's okay too. So totally all right. Make sure you check in with your people, have a series of 3 PDFs, then send follow-ups. Good. I love it. Welcome email, working on incorporating more of what Farron has. Good. I love that. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So it's perfect. I'm so glad you guys have a process. One thing, and why we talk about having a good customer experience, is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, your customers when they get results, it builds your confidence. It is really a confidence booster. You start to say to yourself, like, oh my gosh, I can help other people. So-and-so just lost 2 pounds in the accountability group, right? It's a boost of confidence. It's not like you're the only one that is having success. Now you're starting to say, I can mentor other people on their health and wellness journey too, right? So it's a vote of confidence in your corner. Secondly, when you run really good groups and you have a good onboarding process, and your people get results, you can ask them for permission to share. Can I share your transformation as a Transformation Tuesday post on my social media? Can I shout you out for your success? Can I put you in my stories? Can I use your testimonial in an email newsletter that I send out to prospective customers for next month? So it becomes a testimonial to show other people that you didn't just get results, but you're helping other people get results too. So I always ask people, can I use your transformation as a testimonial, right? And I tag them because it also allows their followers then to see my post, and maybe sometimes we'll get some crossover there with customers. So that happens. It really does boost their confidence as well. The third thing that getting customers really good results does is they either are going to refer people to you, but you've got to ask them. So make it a part, like when you notice a customer is getting really good results, at the end, when you're going to start your next challenge group, make it a to-do list item that you reach out to challengers getting results and say, you're crushing it. Do you have anybody that you think would want to do this in my group next month? I'm getting ready to roll it out. If you have any people that have asked about your weight loss journey or what you're doing for nutrition, will you connect me to them? And, I would be happy to get them started. You can even offer them some sort of referral bonus, free gift, Amazon gift card, something like that. The last thing is you can invite that person to become a coach, right? So somebody that's loving the products, is loving a challenge group, is getting a really good customer experience. That is somebody that's coach potential. 100% coach potential. And I will tell you that some of my top leaders in the organization have come from my challenge groups. They were challengers first. They never had coaching on their radar, but I planted the seed with them. All right. And so what I want you to really start saying to yourself is, okay, if I want to use my challenge groups as a way to boost my confidence, to get people results, to have people that consistently reorder so that I'm getting subscription orders and I'm getting ongoing product purchases, I got to show up and do my work, right? Inside of the group, I got to bring the energy. I've got to make it exciting and engaging, and I've got to keep adding to my customer base month after month. I also have to really be bold about inviting people to the opportunity. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Okay. So we're going to talk about what that actually looks like. Lisa, you said I have trouble with my clients wanting to share pictures of themselves, and that is totally okay. If somebody is not comfortable sharing a physical transformation, one of the things that I'll say is, ask them if they're comfortable sharing like a clothed transformation, like before and afters, like an outfit like they were in before to an outfit that they're in now. If they still say they don't feel comfortable doing that, then a written transformation works great. I always make sure I give it context. I'm so proud of my customers, right? Like this is what I always tell the customer story. So-and-so started out, committed to a health and wellness program, or committed to, a 21-day program because she was at an all-time low, right? Energy level was tanking, confidence, like wasn't feeling confidence in her skin. Just whatever it was, had lack of energy, lack of excitement, lack of joy. And she committed to my 21-day program. Over these 21 days, she lost 10 pounds and 5 inches. And more importantly, she gained confidence. She, has lots of energy to get through the day and keep up with her. Like, so you really want to tell the person's story when you write a transfer, like a testimonial, and then you want to tag the person and you want to make it a call to action. Right? If you're ready to start your journey, here's how we can get in touch. So super important. I would not share that on Instagram as a testimonial, just like as a post, unless she was going to let you share her photos. I would definitely share it as a post on Facebook though, because Facebook is a different type of platform. Instagram needs to be sort of more aesthetic. And I think it's hard to make a testimonial like that aesthetic. You could maybe put it in Canva and make it look pretty, but I would definitely share it in your stories on Instagram, make it on as a post on Facebook. Okay. All right. So that's testimonials, right? So that's, I want to make sure we ask for them, we use them, we leverage them. They are our social proof that success, and that's a big thing. People are watching you, and social proof is really important. Two ways that we do social proof is ourselves. This is how people trust us. If we aren't transforming, and some of us are already fit or at our health and wellness goals, or we don't have, weight that we're trying to lose, that's okay. You still want to share your current, like who I was before to who I am now, for sure, right? You constantly want to be pulling out those old photos. If you're on your fitness journey, we need to make sure that we're committed to it. We're getting results, because our own personal results are the proof that will allow other people to see that we're the real deal, and that when they sign up with us, they're going to be able to achieve results too. That's why I signed up. 11 years ago, I was following my coach. We were friends on Facebook. We didn't really chit chat with each other, but when she reached out and invited me to join a challenge group, the first thing I did was look at her social media. The first thing I did was scroll, see her results, see that she had 2 kids about the same age that I did. I read her story on her Facebook post, and I thought, wow, I have all the same issues she had when she started out. Her body looks amazing. If I can transform my body the way she did, I'm in. And I was a no-brainer. So you have to tell your story, and you need to share your results. That's how you build the proof that it actually works. All right. So your transformation, so incredibly important. Okay. All right, let's dive into this transition into the coaching opportunity. So if you have any questions about onboarding, about customer service, you can drop them. I will definitely answer them. Now, what I want to talk about is really the next step, and that is building a team. How many of you here right now want to build a team? How many of you want to build a team? Okay. What does building a team mean to you? Put that in the comments. Why is it important for you to build a team of coaches? Why is that important? What does that mean? Why does it matter? Why is it important to you? Okay. Changing lives, theirs and mine. Gina, I'm going to ask you again, why does that matter to you? Like what about that? Like, why does that actually matter? Is that right? What else? Why else do you want to build a team? I want other women to experience what I've found through coaching, something for me, us, more freedom in our lives. Jackie, okay. I would even challenge you to go deeper. Like, what does more freedom actually look like, right? What does that freedom actually look like and like super specific. And when you say, and I know you're just like quickly typing it in, but I'm giving you some like almost some writing prompts, right? Like, what does it mean for other women to experience what I have found? Right? So purposeful work, create an income so my husband can live out what he feels called to do. I want to share the health aspect because I've lost too many people to health issues, and I would like total freedom. So Gina, the health aspect definitely has to do with customer base, right? And then when you look at coaching, I want you to look at the financial time part of that. So now what I want you guys to do is, if you hit Success Club 10, in September, you get this Rise Up. Do you remember me doing that promotion at the beginning of the month? So, and if you don't have it, I'm going to ask you to get started. And inside of this Rise Up book of proof, and you can just grab a sheet of paper, is a space where you're going to write your vision in here. Okay. And when we think about building a team with Beachbody, right? When you think about it, I want you to start to say, why does this matter to me? Why is building a team important to me? And so I want you to begin to think about what kind of a team do you want to build? Okay. And so when I started to think about, and this is going to be messy, this is going to be raw. There is no right or wrong way to do this activity. Okay. You won't be graded. You won't be judged. Nobody's going to roll their eyes at you. I'm not even going to ask you to post it inside of the phase 2 group. All right. This is just for you. So don't be afraid to put pen to paper. Okay. Don't be afraid. But I want you to write at the top of your paper, like, why does building a team matter to me? Why does building a team matter to me? And so I'm just going to riff for just a minute or two. I'm going to give you a few examples. So when I started coaching, I got on a call, much like I did for you guys a few weeks ago. How many of you listened to the income progression call that I did a few weeks ago? Did you guys listen to that? Right? So if you didn't, I'll share it again for you guys if you didn't. And so I remember the space that I was in. I was at the kitchen table. I had my headphones in, my laptop computer. The boys were in bed. My baby monitor was sitting there beside me. Matt was in the other room, probably rolling his eyes at me because I was on a team call and he thought I was stupid. Like, what was I doing? Wasting my time trying to build this business that wasn't a legit or real business, right? And so I sat there and I watched a presentation by a coach that was only about a year in front of me. And as he was showing his income progression, my mind started to go. My jaw probably hit the desk and I started to think, oh my God, if he can do that, so can I. If it's possible for him, it's got to be possible for me. And even though he was talking about things that, like that weren't all exactly related to me, I started to think about financially what our family could do with more money, right? And I started to think about how I, Melanie Mitro, can only retail so much. I can only sign up so many customers. I can only sell so many total solution packs, right? Like I cap out at the number of people I can help, right? Or that I feel comfortable helping. You guys know that when you get too many customers, sometimes you feel a little overwhelmed. But I started to think about how I'm only one person. But if I have a group of women who also love health and wellness and want to help other people achieve their health and fitness goals, I can create this community of women that are out there helping others. And together, we can do a lot and we can really make an impact, right? I can teach people my systems. I can teach people my process. I can teach people how I run challenge groups. And not only will I make more money because they're succeeding, but they're going to make money because they're succeeding, right? It's like everybody wins. It's not about just signing up a coach to plug a hole for a warm body. My success is really impinged on their success too. And so the light bulb went off and I was like, okay, well, I need to build this business. I need to start inviting people to join the coaching opportunity with me, because what I could see that it was going to do for my family was, okay, I can get so far. I can pay, for example, my Christmas presents this year with my commission checks with what I do with my customers. I can do that. But at the next step, if I dream a little bit bigger, okay, well, what would it be like if I could start paying down my student loan debt? What if we could start making extra payments or larger payments? And I was like, wow, that would really get rid of a lot of arguments in the Mitro house, right? Like, and then I started to think, what would that be like? I was like, we would have a better relationship because of that. We wouldn't be arguing over money, right? It wouldn't be a stressor. We would have more. And then I started to think about what we could do with extra money. And I started to think about, well, we could go on a date night and that would be good for our relationship because that's important to me, right? We could take a family vacation and we wouldn't have to worry about, pinching pennies or not being able to create and what would that mean for me? I would visualize, right? And I want you to do that. So as I say to you, what does it mean to build a team? Why does that matter to you? I want you to go deep in that. And some of you, I forget who said it, was like, I work right now. I want to quit my job. It's a toxic environment. Nikki, you said that, right? And so here's the thing, if you want to leave that toxic environment, like that's what building your coaching business is going to do for you. It is all about saying, I can leave a toxic environment. I can work from home on my own terms. I can work 4 hours a day. I can spend time with my kids. I can work in the community. I can golf with my husband. I can whatever, right? Play dates with my kids, whatever that may be. But so I need you to create this vision of why building a team is important, okay? Like that's step number one. Why does it matter? Because what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to start inviting people to join you. And just like you felt when you first signed up as a coach, how many of you the first time you started sending invites were like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. Like, I'm really afraid to put myself out there, right? And you started sweating and your palms were all sweaty and your heart was beating really fast. And how many of you now, like maybe you're not 100% comfortable, but it's definitely gotten more natural. Gotten more natural, right? Why did it get more natural? Because you practiced, because you actually leaned into how uncomfortable it felt to do it. And you were like, I want to do this. I believe in what I'm doing. My goals are important. I know that challenge groups work, right? I know that what we have to offer here, Beachbody can change lives. Like I'm literally, I don't care. I'm going to put myself out there. And maybe for some of you, it was, I need to prove myself. I need to get my product paid for. I'm doing it out of sheer, like I need to prove myself. But it started to become easier for you. You got into a routine and you practiced. And because you practiced, you're now a little more confident, not 100%, but we're getting there. I need to ask you to do the same thing with the coaching opportunity. I actually need you to write down your vision for why you want to build a team. And then I need you to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am in control. I am in control of whether or not I achieve my vision. I am in control of whether or not I walk in the doors of my job and quit because it's a toxic environment. I get to dictate that. I am in control of whether or not I create enough income so that my husband can live out his passion and do what he loves. You are in control of that by the number of people that you invite to the opportunity. Okay. So we have to have courage. If we want our dreams to come true, we have to have courage to now take the next step in our business journey. And that is inviting to the coaching opportunity. All right. So whatever you write down on your vision, if when you wake up in the morning and you do your personal development and your gratitude, if it doesn't evoke emotion, we need to write more. We need to write until it feels good, until it makes you excited. Okay. So I'll just share with you for one quick second. Here I am. I'm 11 years into coaching. Why do I do it every single day? Right. Number one, why do I do it? Because I just feel called to lead people, right, to the same success that I have, because I feel like this business is such a gift that whatever I can do to infuse belief into you, for you to know that I believe in you and that you're no different than me and I know you can do it, but you have to be willing to do the work. Number two, I now have a different vision than I had whenever I first started coaching. Paid off the debt, paid off the house, saved for the college educations. We've done those things. But now I'm thinking about my future. Where do I want to be in 7 years when my youngest graduates high school? I want to move to Florida. I want to be where it's warm, not maybe today when it's hurricane season, but I do, right? I do. It's something I really want. And so in my vision, I think about like when I wake up in the morning and when I read my vision to myself, I am visualizing, November 1st, getting on a plane with Millie, with my husband, with all of our stuff. We're driving to Florida for the first time, walking into our beach house, right, in Florida. I'm visualizing, what does it look like? What furniture is it decorated with? I'm visualizing sitting on the patio in the mornings, having coffee or matcha, in my case, with my husband, then, riding our bikes to breakfast or going to play golf together. And then I visualize working, because I still want to work, in 8 years from now. I still want to be writing courses or teaching classes or leading other leaders, right? But I just visualize it on a smaller scale, right? I think about the investments, the money that we'll save over the 7 years. I visualize the investments. I visualize Thanksgiving at the beach house and Christmas there and the warm weather, and then coming back to Pennsylvania in the summers. And I visualize that. So when I wake up in the morning and I think to myself, do I really want to get out of bed? I'm not thinking about how warm and cozy it is in my bed. I'm thinking about how every decision I make today is either making that vision one step closer to reality or not. Okay. That's what's playing in my head. When I think about my daily action steps in my business and my tracker, I'm thinking about, I can choose to do them or I can choose to not do them, but it's one step closer or one step further away. What's my choice? And that's my North Star, right? It's my North Star. And you know what? Maybe in 3 years, I decide I don't really want to move to Florida, and I'll change it. If that happens, it's okay to change your vision. It's okay if one day you wake up and you say, that's not actually what I want. We change to what we want. We find what we want and we go there. All right. So vision guides us. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is we need to have confidence in the coaching opportunity. How many of you feel like you don't have confidence inviting because you don't actually feel like you're successful enough to invite somebody else? Okay. How many of you are like, I look at my upline and she's so successful, like why wouldn't they just sign up with her? Like, why would they sign up with me? Or I've been in the business for X amount of months and I haven't achieved the success that I want. So why would somebody sign up with me? Right. And so we can play these mind games with ourselves. But here's what I did as a new coach. As a new coach, income producing activity tracker. And I'm like looking around because everything is misconstrued on my desk. I use inside of my Make Chic Happen planner, I use my own income producing activity tracker. Same thing as your business activity tracker, right? Same thing, just Beachbody focused. This is generalized. So when I think about my business and I show up every single day, I am thinking about, I need to invite people to the coaching opportunity. All right. Every single month, I set 2 goals for myself. 1 is for customers. 2 is for the number of coaches that I want to sign up. Okay. And so what I want you to start thinking about is, as you go through the weeks and the months, I want you to start saying to yourself, who would make a really good coach? Who would make a really good coach? And I'm going to share with you a document that I am not done with. Okay. It's actually not completed yet, but this is going to be your North Star. And so just like I created the guide, and I'll actually just share my screen so you can see it. So just like I created the guide for invites before, I created a guide for the coaching opportunity. Okay. Can you guys see this? All right. Can you see this on my page? Okay. So this is your confident guide to recruiting. All right. For the coaching opportunity. And so step number 1, just like I asked you to do in the Business Builders Bootcamp, we're going to start making a list. Okay. So your job is literally to sit down and say to yourself, who are all the current challengers that are in my challenge group that I could invite to the coaching opportunity? I don't want you to prejudge. I don't want you to look at Susan and say, Susan has a great job. She looks really happy. I think she makes a lot of money. I don't think she needs a second income. You have no idea. Susan might be just like one of you who loathes their job and it's sucking their soul and it doesn't bring them joy. And she's just putting on a smile on her face, right? So what I want you to do is say, I'm not going to prejudge. I am literally going to present the opportunity to anybody that will listen. Step number 1 is to go through your customers, right? Write it down. I want you to go into your customer orders. And I even want you to look for people whose Shakeology orders are getting ready to ship in the next 15 days. Anybody that purchases a lot, I want you to write them down. Okay. So that's step number 1. You're going to make your list. Part of this list also is beginning to think about people outside of just your challenge groups. So early on, I sat down and I made a list on my whiteboard that hung in my office, which was the storage room of our basement. And I had on there dream team, and I had a list of 8 names. And my dream team, this was me manifesting the people I wanted on my team. It was a woman that went to my MOPS group with me who was in CrossFit. And I was like, she'd be amazing. She'd be a rock star. There was another woman that just was like a fit pro, and we somehow got connected on Facebook, but she was training for a competition. And I was like, oh, she'd be a really good coach. So I remember that I had all these names on this list of people that I thought I'll reach out to them. And what I started doing is once I made this list, I immediately had to get up the courage to send an invite. Okay. So that was the next step. So once you create your list, the next thing you need to do is we need to send an actual invite. So I've given you two examples. I'm giving you an example of a current challenger, and I've given you an example of somebody that is on your social or you're friends with that you think would make a great coach. Okay. So here's what I need you to do. I want you to use this script. You don't want to copy and paste it, but I want you to take it as a template and then turn it into something that sounds like you. So if you're a, hey girl kind of person, or you're a, whatever you would say, hi, how you doing? Right? What's up? I just had to message you. And if this doesn't even sound like you, totally okay. One of my best friends, she would always say like, hey girl, I just want to message you because you're freaking crushing it in the challenge group. And I'm like, I would never say yo, never in a million years, right? Like I just wouldn't. You would never see me do that. Or what's another one? Oh, bae. Hey, bae. I'm like, no, you're not going to see that. So don't copy somebody else's language. Okay. So I want you to message people. You're crushing, give them a compliment. That's the point of an invite. Number one, you compliment. Your results are amazing. Your energy is contagious. You're leading by example in the group. I'm complimenting them on what I see. I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Because I think, or what I do and becoming a coach. I really think you would be amazing at it. I would like to share a short video with you about what I do. Can I send it to you? And would you watch it? Looking forward to hearing back from you. Simple, very simple and easy. That's not hard to send. Okay. I want to challenge you. Are there people on your list that you could send this to tonight? Are there people in your challenge groups you could send this to tonight? Right? I want you to think about that, or past customers or people you know. Let's look at the second option. I reached out to the woman that was in my MOPS group and I complimented her. Hi, Jennifer. I hope you're enjoying your long weekend. I have a question for you. You've really been on my mind. Every time I see you, you always have this infectious, positive energy, and I love it. I am working on my Beachbody business and I just can't get it out of my mind. I feel like you would be an amazing coach. Are you open to it? Can I share a short video about what I do to see if it's something you're interested in? Either way, let me know your thoughts. I love your energy and would love to have you on my team. I know we can make a huge positive impact on the lives of others. Okay. I'm again, positive, compliment, send. Okay. If somebody responds back and they say that they are interested, here is what you do. I want to preface by saying we don't have to wait for a business opportunity call. We don't have to wait for a sneak peek to invite. I think that maybe, and I don't know if anybody here is guilty of that, but we like hold off until we hear our upline doing a call, right? Or we think, I don't know what I would share. Well, guess what? There are some really good videos in our Coach Online Office. If you go to Coach Online Office, what is it? Is it resources? It's under resources, and then it's product. It's like shareable media or product tools, product guides. That's where it's at. I can't think of it off the top of my head at this exact moment, but there is literally videos, and I actually have them in here. You can click the hyperlinks, but watch them both. And then you decide. This I Am Team Beachbody, I would share that with somebody that's a mom or a woman that's been through my challenge groups, because that really gives an understanding of the challenge group experience, how it works. This is somebody I would share with that doesn't really know anything about Beachbody, maybe that hasn't been in my challenge groups before. I'm going to send them that video. And then what I'm going to do is if they say yes, send me the video. I am going to ask them, number one, what do they already know about the coaching opportunity? Before I send the video, I actually tell me what you already know, nothing, a little bit, or a lot. Then from there, I can send them a video, right? And then once they watch that video, just say, like, once you're done watching the video, send me a message and let me know your thoughts. That's the next step. Let me know your thoughts. And after they do that, then we can move on to the next section. And that is just like interviewing a challenger. We now need to interview our potential new coach. Okay. So again, we get really excited. Somebody says, yes, send me the video. We want to just like sign them up right now. Okay. But what I want you to remember is I need to ask questions, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to have an objection. They're going to have questions. So if they're interested, I don't ever want to assume that they're ready to sign up. Just like a customer, you want to ask questions. You want to build trust with the person, because they're going to tell you a lot about themselves and what their fears are when you ask these questions. Number one, what did you think about the video? You don't have to ask all of these. If it doesn't make sense, don't ask them. What are some of your goals, right? So if somebody says like, I'm really interested, I'm like, awesome, right? I say, what questions do you have about the coaching opportunity? I'll also say, would you like to set up some time to chat and go through your questions, right? If they are working, and sometimes I don't really ask these too, but if we're just like chit chatting, I'm like, so what makes you interested in coaching? Like, okay, if you want a different life or you don't like your job, ask them, like, what is it that they don't like about their job, right? Have they ever considered additional income streams? Have they ever looked at direct sales before? Have they ever thought about Beachbody coaching in the past? So you just want to get all of this information. Ask them how soon they would want to get started. And then one of two things. I really do encourage you to get on the phone if possible. I do. Like when you talk to somebody and they're interested and they have questions, you can go back and forth in Messenger. I would say voice message them. That comes across much just better. I think much better is not proper grammar at all. It comes across clearer when you voice message somebody and they can hear your passion in what you're saying. So voice message, and then offer to get on a phone call. I just did this yesterday. I had a woman that was asking me a bajillion questions about signing up as a coach. And so I said to her, I was like, do you want to just set up a quick 15-minute call? And I always say quick 15-minute call. So that person doesn't think I am going to take an hour of their time talking to them about the coaching opportunity. All right. So I set a limit of how much time we're going to chat. And then I say, we can go over your questions to make sure that this is a good fit for you. And so we go through this conversation. And once we get on the phone, here's what I'm doing. What are your questions? I'm listening. I'm taking notes. I'm writing down what their questions are, things that pop in my mind, and then I'm answering their questions. All right. I'm never assuming they know anything about the opportunity. And so things that you can leverage in your back pocket. If somebody says, and I will handle objections. So if you actually go down through and you look at how to overcome objections, I actually give you on page 13, on page 14, I actually go through objections. I don't have time. I don't want to sell to my family and friends. I'm not good at social media. So I want you to read these, and I haven't finished that one yet, but I want you to read those. Those should give you confidence to know how to handle that objection, right? Like, I'm not good at social media. Will you help me with that? Yes, I will help you with that, right? When you sign up as a coach, the one perk of you joining our team is you get access to our team page. In that team page, we have what's called the Business Builders Bootcamp, and we work on things like what to post, how to invite, how to start sharing. Our whole goal is to get you your first 3 customers in the first 30 days, right? So I'm handling objections. You guys know you can plug them in to our new coach training that we do, our Business Builders Bootcamp. They have access to that. Second thing, when people are nervous about like, I don't want to sell to my family and friends, you want to validate that. I felt the same way when I started. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But you want to say like, I totally get that. If that was something you struggled with, then you talk about how you overcame that, right? It's one of those things where you're like, I just started sharing on social media. I started talking about my journey. I started talking about my transformation. I started sharing what was working for me. I started giving advice, and people started to ask questions. That's what I'm going to do with you. Okay. So you're giving them like a tiny little bit of information about what you're going to do. And remember, you are qualified. You're qualified. Why? Because you've already invited customers. I heard this example today, actually, last night. I was listening to a training, And the trainer said, you are qualified because you have done what the person wants to do that is just starting out. The person that is just starting out wants to sign up for Beachbody and they want to get some customers and make some commissions. You've already done that. Even though it might have been a messy process for you, you know how to coach somebody through how to send an invite. You know how to coach somebody through what to post on social media. And if you don't know how to do that, right? If you don't know how to do that, you know that at your fingertips are resources such as the conversation guide and some of the social media content that we have inside of the team page. Okay. So confidence in that. Does that feel good? So I want you, right, to go through this guide and I want you to read it. And I really am encouraging you to have conversations with people. Okay. I want you to become hyper aware of who you think would make a great coach and to really start inviting those people. I want you to go through this guide. I want you to read everything. And then I want you to ask questions inside of the phase 2 group. I now want to switch gears, unless you have some questions. Anybody have questions that they want me to answer? Drop it in the chat bar, unmute, about conversations. Or if you have them, just drop them and I can answer them like in the last, 10 minutes. The next part is social media posts. I am going to show you my post that allowed me to sign up Katie Ersta. You guys know who Katie Ersta is. She's my business partner here at Chic Influencer. I'm going to do a new share. I'm going to share this with you. This is the post. Isn't that a great picture? I'll tell you the story behind this picture. All right. We were in a car and we were going from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia. Anybody that's Pittsburgh knows, like driving across the state, right? 6-7 hours in a car. Mind you, Katie always tells this story and she's like, all these blondes, these beautiful bombshells were in a car. Like I'm the only blonde, right? So that's funny. We always laugh, but it was a Friday night. Okay. 2012. I was 6 months into my coach. I'd signed up in July, like end of July in 2012. This was January. So about 6 months later, driving to a Beachbody event. And I posted this almost to our hotel. It's been the best 5 hours ever. It's like a think tank with the future Beachbody top coaches coming up with our master plan for 2012. Game plan, here we come. What was I doing? I was sharing my vision. I was sharing my vision for the team I wanted to create. Future top coaches coming up with our master plan for 2012. And here's the thing. Here's what Katie messaged me a couple weeks later. She said, and we talk about this story all the time. She was like, I don't know. And she was sitting at home. I'm going to go back and say she was sitting at home on a Friday night. Katie was a teacher. She had one son, Nick. She was grading her papers on a Friday night, red pen in hand. And she saw this Facebook post and she thought to herself, like, who the heck does that? Right? Like who gets in a car? I had 2 kids at that time at home and drives across the state with a bunch of girls, right? That's weird. And then she was like, who does that? I want to know more about it. It's like I planted the seed. And so that weekend I talked about the Beachbody event. I'm sure I manifested and talked more about my vision and where I was going and what I was accomplishing, right? With my coaching business. And it wasn't a whole lot. Right? I wasn't advancing like in rank wildly. I wasn't making thousands and thousands of dollars. I was still an emerald coach whenever I did this, right? So I wasn't even a diamond yet, but she reached out and she said, I think I want to do that coaching thing that you're doing. And what was going on in her life that I couldn't see on social media is they were overdrafting their account when they were getting groceries every week. They were asking themselves the same questions. Is there more to life than just paying the bills and getting by? Mike had a good job. Katie was a teacher, but they were struggling financially and they were having a hard time. And here I was talking about the opportunity. I was talking about the future and what I was excited about, right? Nothing about rank, no flashy paychecks, but I was planting seeds for other people. So this is an example of a post that I did. I'm sure I have another one too, and I'm not sure if it's readily accessible, but I have another one where I am in my insanity t-shirt, and I won that insanity t-shirt because I turned in my transformation, my results to the Beachbody Challenge and got a free shirt, right? Or I won it like a Success Club prize, and I'm standing in my entryway of my house with my insanity shirt on and my yoga pants, and I'm talking about how much I love what I do and how it's amazing that this package showed up in the mail and I'm getting rewarded for helping people on their health and wellness journey. I'm getting free swag from the company. The job that I used to work out never gave me swag or gifts for doing my job. And it feels so rewarding. It's so fulfilling. And you know what? I love the fact that I'm sitting here at my kitchen table, building my business while the kids play. Husband is watching TV, whatever, right? I don't have to put the kids in daycare. I can work while I'm at home, whatever your situation is. I love that I can inspire other people to live a healthy life and get paid for it too. That's a coaching post, you guys. That's planting a seed. So I want you to begin to think about what are the opportunities that you can create in your business right now where you can start planting the seeds about people joining your team. Okay, call like this, screenshot that call. I want you to tonight or tomorrow morning, I want you to talk about your vision for your business. Maybe it's you with a blurred out picture of a sheet of paper and you're actually talking about like my mentor told me that we really needed to think about like, why do I want to build my Beachbody business? What is this doing for my life? And it really made me take a step back. And maybe it's a question you've never asked for yourself, but I want you to like share a little bit of what you want in your life. What are you working towards? Something that feels good to share it. Maybe you talk about like, I've never asked myself, right? I've never had somebody that's supported my dreams or has been my biggest cheerleader. Like we need to talk about our vision. We need to talk about the successes that we want to accomplish, the things that we're working towards, and then we need to show the successes as they're happening. So Thursday is payday. Thursday's payday, right? I want you to think about it. One of the posts that I made was, and you can never do a thanks Beachbody, right? You always have to put the income disclaimer at the bottom of a post, and on an image that you do, you can go right into the FAQs and pull that. But I remember early on again, going to the grocery store, and the first time I went in, so freaking proud. I was like, oh, my Beachbody paycheck, it's paying for the groceries this month, right? I went in, I grocery shopped, I swiped my debit card, and I was like, there, take that, Matt, right? I'm making money with Beachbody. I was so proud of myself. And I stood in the parking lot and I snapped a selfie, and there were a bunch of bags in the trunk of my groceries. And I wrote a post about it, how fulfilling it was to contribute to the family, to know that my side hustle created this like I talked about it. And then I made a call to action. I'm like, if this is speaking to you and you want more information on the coaching opportunity, let's connect. Send me a message so I can share more with you, right? And what goes through my mind all the time is, gosh, I never knew coaching existed until my coach invited me. And so I always think about that. I'm like, I need to share it. There might be a woman on the other side of the screen that doesn't know this exists, or it wasn't the right opportunity last week, but maybe it is today. And so I want you to unapologetically start sharing the coaching opportunity. Okay. It can be in your stories, it can be post, but I want you to share it in such a way where you are calling people to take action. You can't grow a team if you only talk about product. You can't grow a team if you don't show people that you have something to offer them, okay? And so I just did it. Those were things I started to do. It was the groceries, it was the free swag that I was getting, it was the points towards the trip that I was earning. I have screenshots of me sharing the Success Club trip, like points, like I'm one step closer to earning this trip for my family next year. That would go in my stories, right? So make sure you're sharing that stuff also. Also, Business Builders Bootcamp kicks off next Monday. So if you want to invite people to join our team, leverage the fact that we kick off a new training on Monday. It's a perfect time to start your coaching business. If you're having a conversation with people, you can leverage that. You can talk about that on social media. You've all been through it. You know what it entails. You know what the support is like. Get in your stories and talk about it. Okay. Two things are going to happen. Your current challengers, even the ones you just invited, are going to watch your stories. So now maybe they didn't respond to your personal invite, but they watch your stories. They get a little curious. They see your post that you're doing. They're a little more curious, and then maybe they respond to you. Okay. Maybe they actually respond to you. So think about that. Sometimes a total random stranger or friend on Facebook or Instagram is going to see your stories and become interested. So it's full circle. Sometimes it's people that are already customers. Sometimes it's people on your social. I've given you in that handout 30 different post ideas. Okay. 30 different social media coaching post ideas that you can actually start using. Okay. So I want you to use those to start planting the seeds, paying attention to who's engaging with, and having the conversation. We have to step into the kind of coach that we want to be. If you want to build a team, you have to say, how does a strong team builder act? How does a strong team builder act? You can even ask yourself, what would Melanie do? Okay. And if Melanie was sitting at Emerald and she wanted to get to Diamond, that would be a focus. I would be inviting every single person that I could think of to join my team. I would be talking about it on social media, right? And then as people sign up, I am immediately going to my new people that sign up. And I'm like, do you know anybody that would want to do this with you? I am thinking about how I can get that new person started right. Okay. And I am basically just doing exactly what I have done and helping them get started on their coaching journey too. Get their first 2 people signed up and they get to Emerald. But I will tell you this, energy matters. That Facebook post that I made about the think tank of future top coaches, you almost could feel the energy in that post, even though it was a really crappy photo, right? There was energy in that. When I go back and I read my memories of on this day, what are the things I'm talking about? I am toasting to where our team is going. I am toasting to a new month and all of my customers that are ready to get started on their health and wellness journey. I am toasting to the fact that I am one step closer to my goals and I'm helping other people achieve their goals too. And I am taking this business to the top, and you can either stand on the sidelines and watch, or you can get in the game and be part of the movement too. It's things like that. You got to be bold. Bold in your post, bold in your stories, bold with where you're going and the vision you want to create. If you play small, you're going to get small outcomes. If you start to talk like I can mentor you to not just in your health and wellness journey, but I can mentor you to build a business, you're going to start attracting people that want to build a business too. Okay. Different skill. I hope it scares the shit out of you a little bit. Sorry if there are kids around. I hope it makes you a little nervous, but it's good. I want to challenge you. I don't want you to just every month hit Success Club. I want you to level up, right? You know what the coolest part is going to a Super Saturday with maybe some of your local coaches, or going to Summit next year. And it's not just you. You look around and you've got 2 other women, 3 other women, and you guys are masterminding. Okay, we're going to run this challenge group together, and we're going to run a business opportunity call together. That's where it gets fun. When you start to see that the ripple effect doesn't end with you, but it trickles down to other people, and you see that you're building a community, that's where you go, oh my gosh, I'm changing people's lives. Okay. So I want you to really think about that. I want you to remember that. So the last thing I want to tell you is blessings of the business. This is an activity that, in addition to me just sort of riffing off, like, what are the things the business has done for you so far? I want you to also make a list of what are the ways that my coaching business has blessed my life already. This is a brainstorm activity that allows you to then say, I can use that as a post. I'm going to talk about that in my stories, right? And you can sort of use them. Brainstorm activity. What are my blessings of the coaching business? Everything from physically, if it wasn't for the accountability of challenge groups, this is where I would be. Emotionally, Are you a more confident person than you ever were before because of the personal development we do? Income wise, are you like, what are the blessings? Did your paycheck with Beachbody pay for your health and wellness supplements? Did your Beachbody paycheck pay for your utilities this month? That's a blessing, right? Is it that did you earn a trip? Are you meeting people that are actually not toxic? And this is the first time in your life you realize there are good people out there, right? So whatever the blessings are, those are things I want you to write down. 2 reasons why. Number one, I'm going to need you to read those back to yourself when you doubt, right, that your coaching business is working, right? You're going to add to that list every time you have a new blessing, and you're also going to be able to use that as post ideas too. Okay. So that I want you to do that activity. All right. I've given you tons of homework tonight, right? Tons of homework assignments. Okay. Now, I want to read these questions. As I read these questions, I'm going to tell you one final thing, not as I read them. I'm going to tell you one final thing, and then I'm going to read the questions. Is I need you to end the month strong. I'm not sure where you're at in terms of Success Club yet. I'm not sure if you're on track to reach your goals for the month. But here's what I am going to tell you. I am going to tell you that it is important that you reach your goals. It is important that if you said you were going to hit Success Club 5 or Success Club 10, that you do it. I just listened to an Ed Mylett podcast, not even the whole way through. It's on my Instagram stories if you want to pull it up and know what it is, but I'll tell you the name of it. It is Conquer Your Everest. Ed Mylett, Conquer Your Everest, Unlock Your Best Life with Colin O'Brady. He is a man who has literally, he did the Antarctic, right? He went from one side to the other. I think that's what he did. He's done like incredible hikes, scaled mountains, done things that literally your body should not be able to do. And he talks about one of his books, which I think is called the 12-hour, it's like the 12-hour walk, I think is what it's called. I'm really butchering this, but I promise you it's amazing. The 12-hour walk. And he talks about when he was going from one side to the other of Antarctica, right? He was getting down to a point where he almost wasn't going to make it. He was going to run out of food. And his wife on the satellite phone was like, you know, babe, you got to pick it up. You're not going to get to the finish. You don't have enough food. And his wife was like, can you walk like more in a day? Can you do an extra hour? And he was like, I can't do an extra hour. 10 hours is all I can do. That is the max that I can do. All right. How many of you right now in your business are saying, this is it. This is the max I can do. This is all I can do. This is it. Right. And maybe that's where you're at right now. But in that story, as he was telling it in this podcast today, he had another guy that simultaneously the same exact week decided he too was going to be the first person to go all the way across the Antarctic. And so it became a race between the guy that was doing it and him. And he one day came up across the guy's tent. The guy was in front of him and he was like, oh, hell no, I'm going. And he started going and he started going. And all of a sudden it was a whiteout and he hears this guy coming behind him. And the guy comes up next to him and he looks at the guy and the guy says, I want to tell you something. I want to give you a piece of advice. And the guy looked at, and the Colin looked at him and said, I don't ever want to see you again. Right. Is what he says. And the guy takes off his mask and you can't take it off out there, right? Like 2 minutes, you have frostbite, but he takes off his mask, he takes off his goggles, and he said, suit yourself. And he puts back on his goggles, and so they keep going. And it's not like you're in the Antarctic, like you go 2 different directions. Literally for the next few hours, they are just going neck and neck against towards each other. And all of a sudden the guy stops and he sets up camp and he shuts down for the night. And Colin goes, I'm going to keep going. And he keeps going. And he goes for another hour and he goes for another hour. And he made 12 hours. 2 additional hours than he said he could do. And then he proved to himself that he could do it. So the next day he woke up and he decided every day he was going to do 12 hours. And he actually finished the race in days earlier than he was supposed to because he was selling himself short. He thought he could only do 10 hours, but when you put your mind to something, you can do more. And so I tell you that story because I guarantee right now you are saying to yourself, this is all I got. This is all I can do. Doesn't get any better than this. I guess this is where it ends. And it doesn't. It doesn't. I guarantee you can do more. All right. I need you to listen to that podcast. There are like a legit 50,000 nuggets of inspiration that will motivate you to crush your goals and believe that life is not that hard. You can do hard things. But I want you to use that in the last 4 days of the month. I want you to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to make the goal happen. What else can I do? I know you haven't exhausted all of your limits. Okay. So listen to that podcast and I want you to think that through. What else can I do? All right. Okay. I hope that really gave you chills. Let's answer just a few quick questions. Let me see. I want to work with a team. Okay. We talked about that. Okay. I'm in a good point. A lot of people don't know there are two sides to the opportunity. Yes, Lisa, correct. So we need to show them that there are two sides. We need to put that out there. When would you recommend adding them to the team page? So Courtney, once somebody signs up as a coach and you basically send them a welcome email, and I can drop you a template for what to send in a welcome email into the team page, then you add them in, right? I add them in, I tag them in the Business Builders Bootcamp, the welcome video for that month, whatever it is, and I tell them to get started on the 10-step checklist. So just like you would go through the Business Builders Bootcamp, you are guiding them. Here's the 10-step checklist. I want you to watch this video first. Here's the new coach guide. Let's set up a phone call to help you get started. Okay, that's exactly what you're going to do. Anything else? Any other questions? Biggest takeaway. Time is now. Yes, it is. And I believe he has a book and it talks about the 12 self-limiting beliefs that we have that keep us from achieving our goals. And it's called like the 12-hour walk or something like that. So you can actually buy that book, I believe too. It's Colin is the author. Okay. All right. So we're going to invite to the opportunity. We're going to make our business blessings list. We're going to post about the opportunity fearlessly. And we are going to end the month strong. Whatever you need to do to reach the goals you said you were going to accomplish, let's go make it happen. Okay. All right. You can do hard things. I need to do this with all my coaches now. Is it too late? No, it's never too late. It is never, ever, ever too late. Don't ever say that to yourself, because like it is always, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, right? Exactly where you're supposed to be. So not too late. We definitely want to do that. You're welcome. Okay. And so here's the final thing. Phase 2 will run again. Your coaches have to hit Success Club in the month of September to come into this group. Okay. So if they're in Business Builders Bootcamp, we need to help them get to Success Club so that they can come into this group. They need to hit Success Club in order to keep going. Okay. So that is your next step. If you have gotten to the end of this group and you feel like you didn't maximize it, go through it again next month, but you got to hit Success Club to come back in here. Okay. All right, you guys, you are welcome. I love hanging out with you guys. I hope you have a great night and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye everybody.